round down here in Melbourne. Getting the decision there against Josh Glenshaw. 6-round stoppage. Julian Holland. And there you see Rain Mako, who was also a winner earlier tonight in a 4-rounder against Holly Fernley. Coming up with a TKO in the first round. Now 2 starts, 2 wins for Rain Mako, now based here in Melbourne. Born in New Zealand and obviously a very popular young boxer as well. Up next, though, our feature event. The Australian light heavyweight title is up for grabs. Adrian Bellin in against Paul Briggs in a state of origin battle here between Victoria and Queensland. Now, regular viewers on Fox Sports know all about Paul Briggs. He's been in great form of late. But Adrian Bellin, a former Australian cruiserweight champion, he won the title back in '97 over 12 rounds with Sam Solomon. So he has good credentials as well. The tail of the tape, though, does work to the advantage of Paul Briggs. He's going to be much bigger and just a little heavier as well, as you can see by the tail of the tape. Adrian Bellin, last in action in March, he stopped Jamie Meyer in the 2nd round and had some 4 fights in 1999 as well. But given the form that we have seen here on Big Time Boxing from Paul Briggs, I would expect that Adrian Bellin is going to find this a very big ask, and certainly an early stoppage wouldn't be out of the question for Paul Briggs. He stopped Tosca Petridis and actually sent him into retirement in the 1st round back on October 6th on Big Time Boxing. It was over at 1:49 of the 1st round after Petridis had been down twice. And before that, he was too good for Daniel Rousseau, winning after Rousseau had a cut above the left eye. And Paul Briggs, former kickboxing world champion, we saw his twin brother Nathan win a little earlier tonight as well with a 2nd round stoppage of Mitch O'Hallow. And Paul Briggs, well, when he left Queensland a couple of days ago, he was awaiting the arrival of his 1st child, and he will enter the ring here fighting for the Australian Light Heavyweight Championship with his baby having arrived on the scene less than 2 hours ago.
Yeah, that's a fantastic thing to be getting in the ring, you know, like dedicate the championship. If he wins the championship, dedicated to his he was a boy, wasn't he? Yeah, to his son. Fantastic. Congratulations to his wife Natasha and Paul Briggs on the safe arrival of their young fella. Terrific news.
Yes, and Paul Briggs is a very likeable young man as well, only 25 years of age, having his 8th professional orthodox fight and going in for the Australian title. Tosca Petridis, a former Australian champion, and Daniel Rousseau, now an Australian champion. Both have been on the receiving end from Paul Briggs. He's a very interesting young man indeed, having worked overseas and also fought Muay Thai in Thailand with great success. But you look at his 7 previous opponents and they are all highly credentialed. Moses Sorovi, former Australian champion. Jamie Wallace, the tough man from Adelaide, who had no answer for the body shots of Paul Briggs. He stopped him in 3 rounds.
He is a tough man, Jamie Wallace too, and you know that's a big stoppage win, because you know Jamie goes the distance with everybody.
They have a common opponent on their record. Of course, Adrian Bellin fought Tosca Petridis for the Australian cruiserweight title in April last year. Went 12 rounds. Petridis getting...
went the distance, that's right, yeah. No, he got stopped in the last round, didn't he? Yeah, it was a TKO in round 12. It was a great performance by Adrian Bellin against Tosca Petridis at that stage.
And Adrian Bellin, the 26-year-old, he too is a very likeable customer. Appearing in his 20th professional fight here, as opposed to Paul Briggs' 8th. So a big edge in experience there. And he too has seen action against former Australian champions, including Colin Wilson, Moses Sorovi, Phil Gregory, Peter Kinsella, Sam Solomon. And he fought Jamie Wallace back in May '96, losing over 8 rounds. So the form line suggests that Paul Briggs is on the way up. Adrian Bellin has been there. Another tremendous crowd in attendance. Congratulations to Peter Hunt and Murray Thomson from the Fighters Factory, who in conjunction with Craig and Bill Morty have put together a tremendous program to finish the season, and our feature event is set to go. And here is our ring announcer, Mr. Terry Hansen.
Ladies and gentlemen, for the Australian light heavyweight title, set to be fought over 12 3-minute rounds, in the red corner, Fans of big-time boxing will remember his first-round KO of Tosca Petridis. World Kickboxing Association world title holder from 56 kickboxing fights, 51 wins, 38 KOs. Chasing his first Australian boxing title with 6 wins, 1 loss, 5 KOs, Paul the Hurricane Briggs! And in the blue corner, former Australian cruiserweight champion. First fight since March when he demolished Jamie Meyer in 2 rounds. 15 wins, 3 losses, 1 draw, 11 KOs. Adrian the Bomber Bellin! Your referee for this fight, Jim Boland. Judges Jim Slater, Gus Mercurio, and Dave Wignall.
Welcome to Centre Ring, 12 rounds of boxing. You know what we're here for? The Australian title. I've spoken to both of you boys in the dressing room. You know what I expect. Good, clean, hard fight, and obey my instructions at all times. Neutral corner this one in, one behind me. Shake hands now and start last round. Let's get it on, boys. Good luck.
Paul Briggs is ready to go. We just had Angelo Hyder, one of Australia's best trainers, walk past here. He puts the polish on the likes of Mark Vaccaro, the Australian champion. He said, don't blink. I presume he's talking about Paul Briggs here and coming up with a short and quick victory against Adrian Bellin. We're underway for the Australian light heavyweight title. And Adrian Bellin will be in the black trunks and Paul Briggs is in the black with white piping.
Yeah, I think it's right. Don't blink. Anything could happen in this first round. Both proven punches. It's a real make-or-break-it fight the way I see it for Adrian Bellin. But Paul Briggs at the moment certainly looking the money.
And full credit to Adrian Bellin to take this fight because normally he's up around 45, 84 or 85 kilos. He's had to get down to 79 for the light heavyweight division, and he's done that, and he's taken on arguably the most improved boxer in Australia. He is a very hot prospect indeed, Paul Briggs. But Adrian Bellin sees this as a chance to become a dual Australian champion, and there he is digging away to the body of Paul Briggs and serving it up to the bigger man here at the start of this scheduled 12-rounder.
Certainly looked very confident when he got in the ring, Adrian Bellin. You know, he's not nervous at all. He's you know, opened the first round very well here. What about the kickboxing record of Paul Briggs? That's sensational, as well as his professional record. 51 wins in 56 kickboxing fights with 38 KOs in the Muay Thai style. That's fantastic.
Adrian Bellin looks as though he's out of his weight division here. He's so much smaller than Paul Briggs. There's only 1 pound between them in weight. Big edge in reach for Briggs, almost 3 inches in the old language. He just doesn't appear to be as smooth and comfortable as we've seen him in the past. Perhaps all the dramas concerning the birth of his first child has had a little effect on Paul Briggs, and it is a big step up for him in terms of he's now battling for an Australian title in just his 8th professional fight.
Well, Adrian certainly comes to fight, and tonight's no difference. He's taking the fight straight up to Paul Briggs in the opening round here, looking very confident.
Also should pay credit to Glenn Kelly, who has relinquished the Australian light heavyweight title. What a tremendous champion he has been. Undefeated in 26 fights, 13 knockouts. He's now taken IBF Pan Pacific honours and is closing in on a crack at Roy Jones Jr. A lot of people think that Glenn Kelly's out of his depth fighting Roy Jones Jr. Well, most people who have fought Roy Jones Jr. have been out of their depth. But Glenn Kelly, undefeated, he continues to knock down the people they put in front of him. He's desperate to get world recognition, and we certainly wish him the best of luck now that he has relinquished the Australian title and will campaign almost exclusively overseas.
Yeah, he's a very polished performer, Glenn Kelly, and he hurt Paul Briggs there with a nice left hook. Good opening round from Bellin.
And Bellin's cut above the right eye as well in that exchange. It's a nasty cut as well. They're going to have a look at that. But yes, certainly Paul Briggs just stunned there toward the end of round number 1.
Yeah, I don't think they've stopped it adequately. They need to put some more adrenaline on it. It's still trickling down. Put the Vaseline on a bit early, I think. Yeah, you'd have to give the first round 10-9 to Adrian Bellin. A very, very impressive opening round. Even though he got the cut right on the bell, he did land the better of the punches in that first round.
Still spitting blood, Adrian Bellin, as round number 2 gets underway. Adrian Bellin in the black trunks, Paul Briggs, the taller of the two, in the black with white piping. Bellin taking the opening round, according to Barry Michael. I saw it likewise, 10-9. I'm a little concerned for that cut around the right eye of Adrian Bellin, though. It's in a nasty position. But at the moment, Paul Briggs is just not looking comfortable and getting backed up here by Adrian Bellin.
Right, don't punch, don't punch, don't punch. Right. Hey, I have not said don't punch, okay? Okay.
Jimmy Boland, the referee, certainly letting the boys know what he means.
And we're going to see if Paul Briggs can fight on the retreat here, because we haven't had to see him retreat too often in the past, but Adrian Bellin's marching forward at him. Wants to get in close and negate the reach and height advantage that Paul Briggs enjoys. Big body shot from Briggs. Now he's starting to warm to the task.
I notice Briggs switches both feet easily, very comfortably. He can turn southpaw, puts his right foot forward. His balance is very good.
Yes, he is the complete package. There's a lot to like about him. Good exchange of solid shots there.
Break! Break! Oh, that's one of the eight. I told you to break, okay? Right, okay, Paul. That's one of the break.
That eye is starting to look very untidy now for Adrian Bellin. I wouldn't be surprised if Jit Boland calls the doctor in here. You can see his face is splattered with blood. To his credit, he keeps coming forward, although Briggs just picking him off with a jab and hitting the target area as well with that cut. Has opened up on the eyebrow.
Good body shot there from Briggs.
Working here. Right, don't punch. Right back, right back. That's it.
Bellin walking up non-stop. As soon as they break, he's straight back in there like a bull terrier.
Yes, there are similarities between Adrian Bellin and Mike Tyson in their style. Bellin has really gone to school in the Tyson style. Put your hands up high and keep walking forward, weather the storm. And Briggs caught him with a right hand on that occasion. May even be a second cut under the right eye now of Adrian Bellin. Certainly the one over the top is getting very untidy. He's now starting to squint and blink his eye because his vision is starting to be impaired. Sure, the doctor will be across there between rounds, if not beforehand, to get a look at the eye of Adrian Bellin. Paul Briggs has started to settle into his game plan now.
He's boxing better, but I still think, Adrian sort of had the better of the round.
Big power shots being landed to the body by Paul Briggs.
Yeah. Actually, I'll call it even that round. Briggs came back well towards the end. I'm going to call it an even round. Bellin made the fight, walked up all the time, but Briggs did land a lot of good clean shots. Very determined Adrian Bellin in the corner there.
Ladies and gentlemen, wherever you are, please show your appreciation to Tamara and to Danielle, who will be helping us with that camping tonight.
This will stop soon. I want you to start throwing a bit more, mate. You feel like you want to throw some more, or you're still working on something there?
I'm just riding more, trying to pick my shots, like slipping. Yeah. Give it a kick in or something.
Wouldn't mind a couple of nice good combinations, and then catch them in the middle.
Being cautious, so I don't want to fucking.
Okay. Well, not yet then. If you're not comfortable with it yet, don't do it yet. But remember, you've got to snap out of it later on, okay?
Seconds out. Round 3.
Well, he appears to be composed at the moment. Adrian Bellin,
very confident in the corner.
The light heavyweight championship of Australia up for grabs here. Paul Briggs in the black and white trunks. Adrian Bellin, former Australian cruiserweight champion in the all black, the shorter of the two. Barry Michael has it 20-19 in favour of Adrian Bellin through 2 rounds. I have it 19 apiece, having given Paul Briggs the previous round 10-9. I expect that he's going to get even better. The longer the fight goes, he just appeared to be a little uncomfortable. Now he's switching to a southpaw stance momentarily, does Paul Briggs. There's some blood high on his forehead as well.
He's a good body puncher too, Paul Briggs. He mixes them up underneath very well.
Really inside of his legs as well. Paul Briggs shows the scars of a kickboxing career. As he backs up Bellin there, the uppercut.
Lovely uppercut. Bellin took that punch really well. That was a ripper of an uppercut.
Bellin's now bleeding from the nose as well, and freely. He's starting to look very sick and sorry for himself. Briggs is showing us some of his skills, just picking off Adrian Bellin and making full use of that reach advantage. You have to like the tenacity of Adrian Bellin.
You do. He hasn't taken a backward step yet. He's getting picked off more and more as this fight progresses, though.
Briggs up, bouncing on the toes. Certainly the accurate, the cleaner, the heavier hitting is coming from Paul Briggs. Briggs supremely fit as well. The fact that Adrian Bellin hasn't seen a lot of ring action in the last 12 months is a concern.
Yeah, ring activity. There's nothing like ring activity. You can work as hard as you like on the road or in the gym, but you've got to have that ring activity. Beautiful body shot there from Briggs.
Growing in confidence is Paul Briggs. Looking to emulate the feat of his twin brother Nathan, who's already won on this card here tonight. Wicked uppercut from Paul Briggs, and now he's starting to have his way with Adrian Bellin here in round number 3.
Fantastic combination there. And Adrian Bellin just fires back, though. He took a couple of good shots well there.
Most of the punches from Bellin now taken on the gloves by Paul Briggs. Jim Boland now looking at the right eye of Adrian Bellin. He's bleeding from the nose profusely, and he's still walking into big power shots here from Paul Briggs.
He does see punches very well, Paul Briggs. He slips them well.
Big right cross coming in there from Paul Briggs during that flurry as well. And now he switches to southpaw and feeds Bellin the left-hand jab. End of round number 3, and that is all one-way traffic.
Very big round for Paul Briggs.
Well, they have some work to do in the blue corner to try and patch up Adrian Bellin, bleeding from above the right eye since the opening round, bleeding from the nose since this round. Cleaned him up.
Yeah, the eye's slowing down. But he's still pretty tight. Wants to work more combinations, mate.
Paul Fifield, the trainer, with the instructions there for Adrian Bellin. Here's some of the better action from round 3, and there is a nice, stiff, sharp jab from Paul Briggs.
Just picking him off as he comes in.
The Australian light heavyweight title is up for grabs here. Paul Briggs comes out of the red corner wearing black with white piping, and it is Adrian Bellin in all black. First 3 rounds we have Barry Michael has at a level at 29 apiece. I have 29-28 for Paul Briggs so far, and he's only getting stronger. Again, he digs away to the rib cage with a sickening thud.
They've got to take their toll, those body shots.
Oh, no way that Adrian Bellin can take this punishment for 12 rounds. Paul Briggs, he is an awesome competitor.
He really looks the full bit. He's composed. His hands are high. He defends well. He sees punches well. He's got power in both hands. And he also seems to take a good shot too, which is the most important thing, really.
Well, he took a wicked shot from Bellin in the first round. He recovered from it. And now is dictating the tempo as Bellin lands with a jab, though. And still continues to stalk Paul Briggs. He is an awesome puncher. Paul Briggs digging away to the body again.
Oh, nice little uppercut there. You sort of get the feeling now, John, that he's just biding his time, Paul Briggs, waiting for the openings, picking his shots when he needs to.
He certainly has slowed Adrian Bellin down to a large degree here. Bellin continues to come forward, but without the authority we saw in the previous rounds. Now quickly into a southpaw stance. Paul Briggs now back to the orthodox. The light heavyweight, he is very good on his feet.
Yeah, superb balance.
In close quarters, he gets the better of that exchange against Adrian Bellin as well. Final 60 seconds, round number 5. Scheduled 12-rounder for the Australian light heavyweight crown, recently vacated by Glenn Kelly. There you see the skills of Briggs feeding out a left-hand jab.
Yeah, look at that.
Sharp punching with a straight right too.
It's just a matter of time, I think.
Adrian Bellin didn't flinch.
No, he does take a good shot. He was stopped in the first round by Moses Sarabi, but I think he was caught cold that time. That can happen to anyone. Against Tosca Petridis, he was hit with a hell of a lot of bombs. Big right hand from Bellin. to Paul Briggs' jaw, but I don't think he was really hurt.
Briggs just loading up, looking for a shot here. And that might work to his disadvantage as Bellin continues to work the overhand right to good advantage. Again, good defensive skills coming from Paul Briggs right at the end of round number 4.
And another round, 10-9 to Paul Briggs, quite comfortably.
Generous round of applause from the fans here. Adrian Bellin really has his work cut out. He's smothered in blood at the moment. And this man here, Paul Briggs, well, is he on his way to the Australian title in just his 8th professional fight?
Yeah, very extensive kickboxing career has certainly stood him in good stead. And he's switched over to the professional boxing ranks in really class style. Got a great future.
You've got the rounds underneath your belt now. All right. You know you can do the distance. Yeah. Let's just do it now. Really make him work for it, all right? Yep.
There is Adrian Bellin, former Australian cruiserweight champion. And he has his work cut out here against Paul Briggs. I mentioned this is his 8th professional fight for Briggs. Shannon Taylor won the Australian junior welterweight title in just his 3rd professional fight. Paul Briggs in the black and white, the taller of the two men. Adrian Bellin is in the solid black. Both Barry Michael and myself now have Paul Briggs in charge here in terms of point scoring through the first 4 rounds. Question is, how long can Adrian Bellin take this punishment from Paul Briggs? Does have good power of his own, Bellin, with 11 knockouts from 15 wins. The edge in terms of that area in this fight appear to be with Paul Briggs. Good work to the rib cage there from Bellin, finding a good angle there, backing up Paul Briggs.
He really is fighting his heart out, Adrian Bellin. Oh, big uppercut there from Paul Briggs.
Get him. Step back, don't punch. Right back.
Giving away height, weight and reach, Adrian Bellin. We'll take our hat off in terms of his courage as he walks into another left hand.
Oh, nice short right hand there from Paul Briggs.
Get him, Reed.
Given the experience he has as a kickboxer as well, it's very difficult to find a way past the defences of Paul Briggs.
No, his defence is exceptional. He uses his shoulders well. He sees punches well. His hands are held high, and he punches from every angle.
Even switch hitting there on cue.
Switch hit on. Very, very impressive. Oh, what an uppercut.
Adrian Bellin continues to take punishment here in round number 5. Certainly the more solid and accurate shots are coming from Paul Briggs.
Now he's really settled down, Paul Briggs. He's putting on a class display of boxing here against a very, very, top quality opponent who's super fit and super determined in Adrian Bellin.
Bellin continues to have success with the overhand right. That was the punch in the first round. It just caught the attention of Paul Briggs. Certainly the traffic going back the other way is a little more substantial.
Adrian Bellin's right eye is going very black underneath, below where it's cut.
Yes, it's starting to look very untidy indeed, and one wonders about the necessity for this fight to continue too much longer when you consider how Paul Briggs is unloading here on Adrian Bellin.
Oh, he just hurt Briggs. I think, I would like to see that in slow-mo. It looked like he dropped his knees back. He was on the other side of Bellin. He just landed a big combination, but as he pulled away, it looked as though he was caught with something.
Well, Adrian Bellin, certainly a warrior. Briggs in a southpaw stance now. Toward the end of round number 5.
Look at Adrian Bellin's face. My God, he's...
Keep him up, Paul. Keep him up.
End of round number 5.
Another clear round to Paul Briggs. 10-9. I'd like to see that in slow-mo. Maybe he just lost balance, but as he pulled away after throwing a combination, it looked as though he caught something or lost his balance.
The doctor is getting a little closer to Adrian Bellin now. They want to have a look at the eye.
Feel all right? Feel good. It's nice to take that in.
His ears all right? His ears not bleeding? His right eye's really close completely. Yeah.
You clear though? Your head clear? Adrian.
He is one tough customer, Adrian Bellin. As round number 6 gets underway here from Fort Knox in Melbourne. Paul Briggs comes out of the red corner in the black with white piping. Adrian Bellin in big trouble here in terms of being marked around the right eye and bleeding from the nose as well. He trails by a couple of points, according to Barry Michael at ringside, former IBF junior lightweight champion of the world. Paul Briggs starts round number 6 here in good style as well.
Beautiful game.
Big body shot and doubling up there. Paul Briggs works to the head as well. We know Bellin has knockout power. The problem at the moment is keeping Paul Briggs at bay.
Well, you know, he did land a big shot in the first round, and Briggs was hurt momentarily, but he recovered within a second or so. So it's going to be a hard job for Adrian to really, you know, he'd need to land 3 or 4 bombs, I would think, flush on target. At this stage, he's sort of methodically being picked apart by Briggs's rather awesome arsenal.
He's throwing those punches with bad intentions as well.
Okay.
Caution there from Jim Boland for holding the back of Bellin's head while shaking him up with right hands.
Hit him with 3 uppercuts. I tell you, you've got to give Adrian Bellin credit. I don't think he's taken a backward step, has he?
Not in this fight. And probably not in any of his previous 19 either.
No.
And the accuracy of punching power of Paul Briggs is certainly something to marvel at. Not for Adrian Bellin, certainly for Fox Sports viewers around Australia. Only live boxing action here from Australia is right here on Fox Sports, and that right eye of Adrian Bellin is getting even worse. I wouldn't be surprised if Jim Boland encourages the doctor to have another look at it.
Yeah, it can only go so far. It's starting to close. I mean, it's going to close completely before long.
Come in.
Big uppercut again from Briggs, and Bellin must be in trouble now. He has soaked up enormous punishment.
Tell you what, he hasn't really batted an eyelid, though, against some of these shots he's taken.
Hey. One more, Adrian. Okay, it was an accident. Okay, do it again, I'll disqualify you. Okay, shake hands. Shake hands.
Okay. Paul Briggs just telling Adrian Bellin that I can kick better than you. I'm a world kickboxing champion. You may not want to go that route again.
I bet you he wouldn't. Really.
Well, I've seen Paul Briggs in action as a kickboxer, and if he was to kick Adrian Bellin, he might just actually kick him out of the ring. Briggs is well on top here, concluding stages of round number 6. Adrian Bellin still in there with a puncher's chance because he has rocked Briggs in the first round and again in round number 5. But outside of those 2 instances, Paul Briggs is making this all one-way traffic at the moment.
Yeah, the doctor's going to have a good look at that eye. I'll tell you, it's not looking good. A very courageous, commendable performance by Adrian Bellin, but he's being outgunned.
Well, good advice there from Paul Fifield, the trainer. I don't think there's any doubt.
Well, he shows he cares for his fighter.
But that's the right approach here. If Adrian Bellin can't produce anything here in round number 7, then you've probably seen enough, because his right eye continues to close. He's soaking up enormous punishment. And some of the uppercuts from Paul Briggs, well, they would scare 10 men.
Yeah, you're not wrong. Fearsome stuff. Adrian Bellin, you know, very, very brave warrior, but his corner man, Paul Fifield, very good call.
Just don't want to see him get hurt as round number 7 gets underway. It's 59-56 on the scorecard for Barry Michael. I have 59-45 in favour of Paul Briggs. Just getting a little untidy here as well. Adrian Bellin, well, he's on the brink here of being disqualified for indiscretions. He's taken more hits than the internet, Adrian Bellin. And he's on the end of a right hand again. Tries to show that he's not. But Paul Briggs just has too much in his arsenal for Adrian Bellin at the moment. He snaps back his head with the jab. Paul Briggs in awesome fashion here, digging to the rib cage.
What a polished performance. Against a quality opponent too. I mean, Paul Briggs has got a huge future.
Briggs again digging away to the ribcage of Adrian Bellin. It was only 18 months ago that Adrian Bellin went 12 rounds with Tosca Petridis.
Yeah, an absolute war it was too. It was early in the fight, it was Adrian's fight, but as the fight progressed, the experience sort of told, and Tosca came out and pulled out with that 12th round KO up to, and it was a ripper of a fight.
And in contrast, we saw Paul Briggs unhinge Tosca Petridis in 1 round a month ago. And that form line is standing up here between these two, because Paul Briggs at the moment, well, he's picking Adrian Bellin off at will.
I tell you, he's one of the most devastating body punchers, or devastating all-round fighter, but he's a great body puncher that I've seen in a long, long time. His body shots really are vicious.
Well, Craig Morty is of the opinion that Paul Briggs is the best prospect in Australia at the moment.
Yeah, well,
not too far away.
I'd say so. He's certainly up there with them.
Big body shots again from Briggs. Bellin, well, he just continues to come forward. One wonders about the merit in taking any more punishment here.
Yeah, I think Paul Fifield will probably stick true to his word and stop the fight at the end of this round.
There are parallels here between this fight and the one against Moses Sorovi back in May this year. Sorovi, himself a former Australian and OPBF cruiserweight champion. And Paul Briggs took him apart over 7 rounds, completely dominated the fight. And his work to the body was something to behold. Paul Briggs has been in against some big names in Australian boxing. And no one has really challenged him as yet.
No, he's certainly a class above them all at the moment.
Again, switch hitting a little Briggs, backing up Adrian Bellin with a left jab, almost at will. End of round number 7.
Except for Glenn Kelly, I should say. That would be a good fight, wouldn't it?
Paul Fifield talking to Adrian Bellin. We might be close to a stoppage here.
Plenty of water, please.
Bellin wants to continue.
Plenty of water. Plenty of water.
Adrian?
Plenty of water.
Adrian! You're a good mate, mate. I'm doing 1 more round, mate. You're getting unnecessarily beaten, mate, okay?
Okay.
You understand? You understand?
Yeah,
okay, Paul?
you could be scoring them 10-8 rounds, couldn't you? Really? They're that one-sided now.
Well, that's good refereeing from Jim Boland as well. Rather than stop the fight or apply a standing 8 count, he's made it clear to Adrian Bellin, as has Paul Fifield, his trainer. And unless there is some artillery coming back, then they're going to pull this up, because Paul Briggs is really just
one-way
teeing
traffic
off on him.
Yeah, one-way traffic.
Another 10-9 round. And the round is coming from Paul Fifield. He's seen enough, and there the towel is coming. Adrian Bellin doesn't like the call. But there really was no reason for Adrian Bellin to take any more punishment. And Paul Briggs is the new Australian light heavyweight champion, completely dominating Adrian Bellin over 7 rounds. And the corner throws in the towel. And Paul Briggs becomes a father and Australian champion within 2 hours of each occurrence, and joins his twin brother Nathan as a winner here on Big Time Boxing. Well, I had the fight 69-64. Bellin actually won the opening round, but then the subsequent 6 were all one-way traffic for Paul Briggs.
I kindly gave him a draw in the second. He really carried the fight up, but you could see the stamp on the fight towards the end of the second round that Briggs was going to take control of it. From then on, it was just one-way traffic, wasn't it? And actually, you could have even scored some of those rounds 10-8, I guess.
Yes, he is quite a prospect, Paul Briggs. What a night it has been. He'll remember November the 24th for a long time. Former world kickboxing champion, now the Australian light heavyweight champion. A father to boot, his twin brother Nathan winning on the same card. And Adrian Bellin, well, he's very brave in defeat, but there really was no need for it to continue any longer, and his trainer Paul Fifield did an excellent job to pull it up. He was taking unnecessary punishment and was in danger of being hurt seriously. He was cut above the right eye in the opening round, bleeding from the nose from the 3rd round, and then lost his way a little bit and almost ended up kicking Paul Briggs in frustration in round number 6. And Paul Briggs certainly is a man to contend with here in Australian boxing as we get the official announcement.
Ladies and gentlemen, at the beginning of round 8, referee Jim Boland was advised the fight has been conceded and that the new Australian light heavyweight champion is Paul the Hurricane Briggs. Presenting the belt for the National Secretary of the Australian National Boxing Federation, Brad Bacali.
Well, good sportsmanship there from Paul Briggs as well as he raises the hand of Adrian Bellin. He was brave in defeat.
He certainly was. He really did put up a very brave performance there.
There's Brad Bacali to put the belt on the waist of Paul Briggs, the new Australian champion. Hard-working secretary of the ANBF, Brad Bacali, joining us in commentary as well. He does a tremendous job for Australian boxing, and so does this man, Paul Briggs. Well, he's now the Australian champion. And he certainly would be a worthy contender for Glenn Kelly. What a match that would be.
That would be a great fight.
Let's get a word with the new Australian champion, Paul Briggs. I'm sure he's pretty happy. Terry Hansen is right there with him.
Ladies and gentlemen, if I can announce a double victory here tonight for Paul the Hurricane Briggs. Not only is he a new Australian champion, but just 2 hours ago, his wife Tasha delivered, weighing in at 8 pounds and 10 ounces, it's a boy! Paul, this is the night you're going to remember for a long time.
I'm just, this time, but before Tosca, I wasn't speechless. This time I am. I mean, I just didn't have the sting tonight because I had a very emotional day and an emotional night on the phone to my wife. And it was so hard to prepare for mentally for this fight. But I want to say, I take my hat off to Adrian. He's a warrior and a gentleman. When there's so many guys in this country that call themselves boxers and don't want to step up, i.e. Glenn Kelly, mate, you can learn something from this guy. He's a true warrior.
Paul, obviously, your eyes are on an international career as big as your kickboxing career. How big of a stumbling block was this for you tonight to get to that first Australian title?
Tonight was actually bigger than my world kickboxing title fight, which I won at 19 years old in Tokyo in front of about 26,000 people. So tonight was not only a harder fight, but it was also just so much bigger for me. I almost fell over when we got the phone call when Adrian said that he was going to fight us after knocking out Tosca in 1 round. I mean, I just wish there were more boxers in this country with the heart like this guy. I'm looking at bigger and better things. I believe now I've knocked out Moses Sorovi, Jamie Wallace, Jason Rousseau, Tosca Pedridis, and now one of the hardest men that I've fought, Adrian Bellin. I'm just ready to take on the world, and I just want to thank the Australian public for supporting me because I just never got it when I was kickboxing, and I think it's just awesome. So it's a very emotional night for me. Thank you very much.
Congratulations, ladies and gentlemen, to Paul the Hurricane Briggs.
This is the last fight for me this year. I'm going to take a bit of a holiday, but there are some people who I do have to thank. First off, I just want to thank Bill Morty and Craig Morty for believing in my talent and giving me the opportunity to show my talent. I also want to thank my sponsors. Bones is a very good friend of mine, looks after me. Thank you very much. Sharon and Wayne from Show Off Clothing. Peter from Windy.
You better get to the hospital, mate.
Richard Bell from the Boon Shoe Restaurant. And also George Govett from GG Design. And thank you very much. The people are from Melbourne. You're always awesome to fight in front of, and I hope to come back again. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Paul. And ladies and gentlemen, we'll take the opportunity to have a few words with a man who took some incredible punishment tonight. I know John and the broadcast were comparing him as a terrier to Mike Tyson there tonight. Adrian, a sensational performance, mate. Just finally the damage just had to pull you up.
Yeah, a few things didn't go my way tonight. I mean, just couldn't get a few things going, but I mean, can't take it away from Paul Briggs. He fought a good fight. He's a very good fighter, as you saw, you know. He's been very active. I wish him all the best. I mean, six weeks ago when I took the fight, I didn't think twice when I had it offered to me. I just said, yep, I want to do it, because I've had a very inactive year. I'd like to thank all the people that got behind me for it. Everybody helped out. I'd like to thank my sponsors, Independent Cranes, Musashi for getting behind me as well, all the people at the Underworld gym, all the guys I train with, Zoe, you're a legend. Yeah, what can I say? I'd especially like to thank my girlfriend, Rochelle. She was right behind me the whole way. I couldn't have done it without her. I mean, I made the light heavyweight. I did it easy. I'm the fittest I've ever been, thanks to Paul Fifield. Got me in the best shape in my career. But I guess it all matters on the night, and I just couldn't put it together.
Mate, what we saw you doing, we absolutely love watching. Thank you very, very much for sensational effort, and we look forward to seeing you again on the big fights.
Okay, I'd like to thank you all. Thank you.
Well, Adrian Bellin, certainly a warrior. He's called the loads of Paul Briggs tonight, the new Australian light heavyweight champion. And as you see, he wants Paul Kelly. He's beaten Jamie Wallace. He's beaten Moses Sorovi. So there isn't a lot that Paul Briggs has to do if he can beat Glenn Kelly. Well, certainly. Right now, in fact, he looks world-class to me. That was one of the best performances we have seen, and it brings the curtain down on an entertaining night. Here from Knox, if you may have joined us a little late, we'll be back to wrap up proceedings in just a moment.